Hey everybody, it's Sean Murphy from 1455. Welcome back to the 1455 interview series. We continue to have a ton of fun with this. The more people I talk to, the more I'm realizing how different and alike writers are, how weird we are in all the right ways, and what makes so many of us tick. And I hope you're enjoying this too. I am very excited to be joined tonight by Diane Zinna, who I talked to last week for George Mason's annual Awesome Fall for the Book Festival. She was on a panel along with Amber Sparks, and I'm talking to her tomorrow night, October 1st at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, in conjunction with our pals and partners at the Potter's House in DC. And that event will be streaming live to their Facebook page. So check that out and check out the 1455 page for more information. But enough of that. Let's get to the now. We are joined today by Diane Zinna. Let me introduce her, and then we'll bring her on. Diane is originally from Long Island, New York. She received her MFA from the University of Florida and taught creative writing for 10 years. She was the executive co-director at AWP, the Association of Writers and Writing Programs, which hosts the largest literary conference in North America every year. In 2014, she created the Writer Mentorship Program, helping to match more than 600 writers over 12 seasons. She lives in Fairfax, Virginia with her husband and daughter. The All Night Sun is her first book and has been longlisted for the Center for Fiction's first novel prize. I am so excited. I read the book and I loved it. I look forward to talking about it tomorrow night at the Potter's House. For now, we're going to bring her on for the 1455 interview. Diane, welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Yay. Well, as always, I'm going to make sure we are on the clock. And of course, I'm not getting my password right, but we will fix that. So here we are, 1455.
Let's do it.
Okay, first up, Diane, the first book that made you want to be a writer or a book that changed your life.
Okay, the one that comes to mind, please don't roll your eyes, but it's going to be The Once and a Future King by T.H. White.
Good? Roll my eyes. I'm gonna.
Okay. Yeah, I was in college at the time. I was an undergrad, and I remember reading it and feeling like I had read for the first time as a writer. I could see how he was putting it together. I could see how he was using scenes like musculature, and there was no flabby middle. And it taught me so much about endings and how to get there. It taught me a lot about sentimentality. So that was the thing that really made me feel like I was a writer after reading that book.
I can relate to that so much. I have such an indelible memory of reading that for the first time. I was younger, and maybe a little bit too young because I just seen Excalibur, loosely based on that. But I'm with you as far as what a touchstone that is for any creative type. I mean, obviously it was indelible for non-writers, but I think for writers, there's some magic in there for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you for not rolling your eyes. I remember saying it aloud in a class. Like a teacher asked me, what is some book that you really loved? And I said it, and he was just like,
We don't have any pretension with the 1450
yes.
series. So.
No pretense.
All right. Who would you say your most profound artistic influence is?
My daughter. She is 8 now. But let me tell you, when I was, this was back in 2016, she accompanied me, she and my husband, on my first real writers conference. So it's like a real prestigious writers conference, and I was so nervous to be there. And they got the dining hall pass, so they were in the dining room with me. And every night at dinner, we'd be sitting down, and some famous writer would come sit down with us, and the whole table would freak out, including me. But my daughter, allowed me to be the mom. She allowed me to be myself. She reminded me of who I was. And so, mid-meal, she was taking off, running into waiters, knocking over ice pitchers. And I'd have to run after her, and I couldn't put on any pretense, And I remember when this really famous writer sat down right beside her, and we all went silent. And she just started talking to him about the skunk that she saw outside the cabin. And it just made everyone feel like, all right, just he's a real dude. We're all just real people. Let's just forget about trying to be impressive.
Enough said. I love it. And that's the first time we've had a family member as an answer to that question. I think that's beautiful. So thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that. All right. An impossible but fun one. An album or movie or both that you recommend without reservation.
Okay, I'm going to go Christmas, and I'm going to go with A Christmas Memory, which was a 1966 film starring Geraldine Page, based on the short story by Truman Capote. Every Christmas it comes around, I always watch it. I always tell people about it. I just love that movie.
Is that the one where the mother is like, buddy, it's fruitcake weather?
Yeah, but it's his like older cousin, and
Okay.
they're each other's only friends. Yeah.
My eighth grade teacher read that to us, and I've always remembered. And she read it. She was Southern, and she,
Yeah.
as you can imagine, the voices she was doing.
Yes.
To watch that because I've never seen that.
Oh, it's so good.
Awesome. Okay, how about best first or last line in any book ever?
This is so hard. Okay, I'm gonna go with Ann Tyler. Um, Her book, I think this was 2001, 2002, Back When We Were Grown-Ups. I think the line is, once upon a time, there was a woman who discovered she turned into a different person, or into the wrong person. And I always thought that was such a incredible first line with so many possibilities. Where are we going here? But it really showed, it had so much power in that first line.
And it always reminds, I think every time someone answers this question, we realize like that's arguably the most important sentence in the book because you want someone to keep reading.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. How about an underrated author that you'd like to give a shout out to?
This is a really hard one. But I'm gonna say someone that not enough people in my sphere of writers, I feel, have read it, this person, but Gretel Ehrlich. I love her writing so much, the description, the poetry in her writing. And I'm thinking about, in particular, her book, The Solace of Open Spaces. That one where she's gone to go live with some sheep herders in Wyoming, but every line is a poem. Beautiful.
Thank you. And the pro and con is as like most writers and readers want to do, broadening my vistas, and the pile of books is getting taller. The only con is now the pile of books is getting taller, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So
Yes, that's right.
immediately add it to my list. So I owe you for that. Okay.
Oh.
My favorite question of all in this series so far. Why have you not read Moby Dick? Or classic that you haven't gotten around to yet?
Okay, I have read Moby Dick. I remember when I read it, it was, I think, the 2001, 2002. I was living in Northern Virginia. I was an adjunct teaching at Northern Virginia Community College. It was the summer where it rained like every day for like 6 or 7 weeks. And I
Okay.
remember feeling like I was underwater reading that book. It was intense. And I would go into the classroom and just tell them about what I'd been reading, and they were just all over it. But it was really just like a very visceral experience because I felt like I was living in the water. Um, but for the books that I wish that I had read, um, I mean, it's all of them. I feel like I haven't read enough. The one that I'm most sad about is that I haven't read all of Toni Morrison. I feel like that is the one that is the writer who stands to teach me the most. If I was able to devote, a huge chunk of time just to reading all of it.
Yeah, and so I share I've read, I'd say, half of her stuff or
Hmm.
so, and need to read the rest. But I think fortunately, she's one, like, unlike say a Faulkner or a Dickens, where it's manageable. At least that's a
Yes.
goal that I think is achievable in the next couple of years.
Yes.
So we'll hold each other to that. We'll have
Okay, you got it.
reading our Morrison reading group. All right, I think I've got some particular insight, having just finished your book, having taken a deep dive into your novel. But what would you say? Is there a single theme or issue that your work tries to address, not just in your novel, but just in your work?
Yeah, for sure. It's grief. It's connection, it's missed connections, and it is life after loss. All of that. It just keeps coming up. No matter what kind of funny story I'm trying to write, it veers that way.
Yep. Well, and listen, teaser for our friends watching this that are like, should I check out the Potter's House event tonight? Duh. But for that topic, I can assure you that those themes are addressed very powerfully in her book, The All Night Sun. So check it out. What about writing routine? Do you
Thanks.
believe in them? Do you have one? Oh, did you hear me? We might have.
The most writing, yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Good. Um, if there's anything that I am famous for, Sean, it's my writing routine. So
Yep.
I write almost exclusively in the car. I've been doing it for about 9 years now. I got into the habit of doing it when my daughter was a baby and I needed quiet time, and it just stuck. And now I have my parking spot and I go, and the muse knows to float out to me out of the storefront of CVS and Ross Dress for Less. It just knows where to find me.
That is the best answer ever, and I feel like there's even like an instruction book. Because that's
It's become
inspiring.
a problem. It's really become a problem because now I can't write anything unless I'm in my car with my laptop propped against the steering wheel. I can't even write an email to someone. I have to go out to the car.
I love it. I love it. That's like a character out of that could be like a movie. You're gonna be a movie character.
Okay, sign me up.
We'll get back to that. All right. So, how about writer's block? Do you believe in it? Do you suffer from it ever?
I'm a big believer in the necessity of writer's rest. And sometimes our bodies just know more than we do. And sometimes they want to work out things subconsciously. And so I've learned to just get on with things. Um, I'm pretty good about setting a timer for myself, saying I'll write for 1 minute, smashing it off and keeping going. I've always been really lucky that way, but if it's not coming, I just kind of understand that my body needs to rest, my mind needs to rest a little bit.
What a gorgeous answer. There's so much
Aw,
wisdom. There's so much quiet earned wisdom in that. I say that as a writer of a certain age. I really can relate to that. And for whatever it's worth, yeah, because I think there's a lot of writers, whether it's false bravado, like no, you
yeah,
just push through. I'm with you. I think the body and the mind are always telling us things, and sometimes maybe the worst thing you can do is to try to push through. And everyone has a different routine, but I hear you there. That's the first answer we've gotten along those lines, and I think that's
oh, good.
because we all should give ourselves a break at times when we
Yes,
need it.
yeah.
Okay. Um, Talk about a setback, artistic or otherwise, that's helped you on your trajectory.
Okay, so similar to my character in The All Night Sun, I lost my parents really early on. My father passed at 15. My mother passed away on my graduation day from my MFA program. Okay, so I had, you know, I had really high expectations of myself. After I thought I'm poised, I'm ready to begin a career as a writer, and that day everything changed. And so um, I would say that it has helped me so much because when I was in that program, I was the only female writer and I had all male teachers. And I had changed my voice so much during those 2 years to play to the room. And after my mother passed away, and I was so gripped by telling stories about grief, I knew I didn't want anything sarcastic or artificial or cynical or any of those things that I had adopted as an MFA student near those kinds of stories. And so it's taken me a little bit longer. I'm 46, my first book came out, but it's a voice now that I'm really proud of, and I feel like it's me.
It's a very lived in voice. And again, I think a reader that doesn't know anything about you, your biography, or even the impetus of your story, there's such a like there is an earned kind of voice of experience that is conveyed. So
Thanks.
that resonates.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. All right. So how about along those lines? How have you developed your career?
I think it started out, I was teaching right after grad school, and I never thought I'd be a teacher, but I loved teaching. And when I moved on to AWP, and I was doing sort of more of this, arts management kind of work, I was really, really missing teaching. And so I developed the Writer Mentorship Program, and it allowed me to teach, in a sense, each class that was coming through, and mentor people myself, and I think teaching and mentoring and listening more than I'm speaking, all of that has helped me to become a better writer.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. How would you explain or define what literary success means to you?
I think if I can add something new to the conversation, I think if I can live a life of joy as a writer, and that means finding a way to be a writer my whole life long and not letting it affect my mental health. I really want to do it in a genuine way, in an authentic way, where I'm not getting pulled and yanked by the professionalism of it. So if I can make it to the end of my life having lived a life of writerly joy, I will have been successful.
Writerly joy. Thank you. That's wonderful. What a beautiful sentiment. I'm loving these answers, Diane.
Aw, thanks.
Is there something you wish you'd known as an artist 10 or even 20 years ago?
To read more widely and to read more, to make it like the priority. I think I thought I was so smart. I spent all my time writing and I wasn't reading. There was a period of time where I thought I didn't want other voices infecting the development of my own voice, right? And that is how you find your way, is by listening to guides along the path. So I wish I had just made more time for it.
It's interesting, right? I feel like, not just in this series, but just in general, I've noticed that when writers are asked that type of question, almost always you'll see them say read even before they talk about writing.
Yes.
Like, reading is as important. And I do think for younger or aspiring writers, that might sound oxymoronic, but it isn't. You can't develop your own style unless you are exposed to and seeing all these other styles, and then you gradually emulate and hopefully grow past that and cultivate your own thing. Okay. The timer went off, but we always have time for the last question, which is a 1-minute exhortation for an aspiring writer looking for advice.
Okay. If you have it in you, if you've got this nagging thing that won't go away, if you are finding yourself imagining that writerly life, then you need to do it because the world needs your voice. If it's something that is just a hobby for you, something that you'd like to do, it's up to you whether or not to continue. But if you've got something in you, it was put there and it's going to happen for you if you put your time in. And I'd say also find your community. As number 2, go to readings, be there for other writers, offer whatever help you can to people coming up behind you. Reach out to writers that you love and tell them that you love their work. That's where you find your teachers and your mentors naturally. And third, this is not writerly, well, maybe it is, you have to vote. Okay, everyone needs to go out and vote, like their lives depend on it, and like the lives of every person that they love depend on it.
Thank you. I can't, what a perfect way to end what I actually view as a continuation of this dialogue that you and I have started.
Yes.
I'll speak directly to the audience like a debater is taught to do, and say, if you're not sufficiently convinced, which you should be, just hearing Diane's voice and this gentle, generous wisdom and experience, check out her book, The All Night Sun. And tomorrow night, Thursday, October 1st, 7 p.m. Eastern time, she and I are going to talk more about writing, about the book, about her experiences, about what's next. And we're going to take Q&A from attendees, and we're going to answer as many questions as we can. So let me put in a pitch for that. And listen to what she said. Read the book, read more books, and support your writing community because it's important. Diane, I always end these by saying to the writer, which is just an aspiration. I'll see you soon. But in this case, I will see you soon
Yes.
in less than 24 hours. So
Awesome.
so much for visiting with us and sharing your wisdom. And we had some tech difficulties before this. Thank you for your patience. It's really a pleasure. And I'm happy to add you to our list of distinguished authors who have talked to us.
I'm so proud. Thank you so much, Sean.
All
Take
right,
care.
Dan. See you tomorrow.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
We got it.
Yes. Thank you so much.
That was fun. Your answers. There's such. I keep saying the word wisdom, but you just have this generous, like,
Oh.
I don't know what the right word is, but yeah, a kind of a kindred soul. I think people are really gonna dig that.
Oh, that means so much to me. Thank you so much. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a fly going around my head the whole time. So I was trying to be real calm and go like this.
I
Like,
didn't even notice.
he will not interfere with this. We worked too hard to make this happen.
Wow, we earned it. You hung in there. This is already going to be a personal favorite just because we
Oh, thank you.
hung in there and made it work. And tomorrow's going to be awesome. I'm really looking forward to.
Thank you so much. I can't wait. You're the person for this. I wouldn't want anyone else there. Thank you.
Well, look, we'll have fun, and then, as promised, once business is done, we can talk more about 4055 and just kind of some. I know we've got some some people in our mutual networks. I just would really I'd love to talk to you more about just kind of all this stuff.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.
All right, well, listen, go enjoy your night.
Okay.
Thanks again for hanging in there. I apologize for the tech issues.
No worries.
And what I'll do, I think we'll get more bang for our buck. Like first thing in the morning, I'll post this on YouTube. I'll tag you.
Oh, fun.
And then throughout the day, I'll be doing my promo for the event tomorrow night.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Have a great night.
You too.
Okay. Bye.